Real talk, I'm gonna have to watch this one again because I left the room. Not physically, I just mentally zoned out. While I figure out what rewatching this movie looks like, let's just talk about it. So I just saw Queer, directed by Luca Guadagnino, stars Daniel Craig and Drew Starkey. Drew Starkey's the dude I'm seeing all those thirst trap edits, right? The Outer Banks one. This movie is based on a novel. I've never read it, but it's about a man named Lee who is an expat / on the run living in Mexico. He's a bit of a junkie, alcoholic, and he's obsessed with finding this plant in South America that produces telepathy. He meets a dude named Eugene. Him and Eugene have a little love affair, and then the movie gets a little weird and psychedelic, and that's where I kind of lost it. And by lost it, I mean the plot. I got really confused. I was unsure, are we still watching the same movie? What genre is this? It just kind of wandered elsewhere, which is not unusual for this director. He is a bit, I don't want to say eccentric, but he likes to play with genre a bit. He likes to twist things and mold things and experiment, and it usually works, and I'm pretty sure it does. I just need to watch it again. Daniel Craig is nominated for Best Actor in a Motion Picture Drama at the Golden Globes, deservedly so. As weird as this movie got, his performance really does draw you in and pull you in and kind of keep you present, especially because if you're used to seeing Daniel Craig a certain way, he's usually very refined and, classy, but in this he's very sloppy with an American accent. I've never seen him like this before, and from the jump, he's just in it, and he stays in it till the very end. It's an incredible performance. The other standout here is the cinematography. The film is just straight gorgeous. It's set in 1950, and if you've ever seen movies in color from around that period, it's like everything was just bright for no reason, and it kind of has that same vibe. But there's a shot at the very beginning where he's walking outside, and this contrast between kind of what's happening naturally outside and these purple and white leaves or flowers hanging from the trees. It's just absolutely stunning. The cinematography here is just gorgeous. It's stunning. Narrative-wise, it's a little wonky. This is going to be a hit or miss. You're either going to really fall in love with this, or you're going to be very confused. I don't think you're going to hate it, but I think you're just going to leave a little confused, and you're not going to know how to feel about it. But up until we get to the point where I was like, what's going on? I enjoyed it for the most part. It's a sad little portrait of a man who is just desperate for connection. And we see that not just in his attempts to, get in a relationship or get with somebody, but also in his drug use. He is desperate to feel connected and grounded to something, attached to something. And it's sad. I have this thing with secondhand embarrassment. I have it real bad. I don't get embarrassed too often, but when someone else is, I feel it in my gut. I don't like watching people embarrass themselves. And he does that quite a bit in the very beginning because he is just so desperate for connection with another human being that he just makes a complete fool of himself. And it's sad because his antics, his attempts to connect with other people, it comes off as a little predatory and forceful, but really he's just trying to get with the program, and he kind of uses alcohol as a crutch to make himself more likable and more comfortable in his surroundings. If I had to answer the question, what is the theme of this movie here? It's all about connection. That's what I got out of it anyway. Being connected to another human being. And eventually when he does get with Eugene, he's all into him. But you never really get the sense that Eugene is reciprocating those feelings, which we never really know if he feels that way because our narrator is a guy who is very insecure. We're kind of seeing things happen through his lens. There's a shot, I don't know if it was intentional or not, where they're at a table for brunch, lunch, something or other. And, he's being quirky and funny and goofy. And we get this shot of, Daniel Craig's character is looking at Drew Starkey, and Drew Starkey is looking down, and it almost looks like he's completely disinterested. But then we see the shot from the other side, and he's looking at a menu. I thought that was just so clever to capture something very real in film, how we can misinterpret, body language and other people in real time. He was able to capture that in 2 shots, and I thought that was so cool. Now, this director, and I swear I'm butchering this man's name, and I feel so bad about it, Luca Guadagnino, he also directed Challengers with Zendaya, Josh O'Connor, and Mike Feist earlier this year. You know, mad props to him because he's got 2 separate movies nominated for Golden Globe. So yeah, Daniel Craig has been nominated for Best Actor in a Motion Picture Drama. Challengers has been nominated for Best Picture Musical or Comedy, and then Zendaya has also been nominated for Best Actress Motion Picture Comedy. So yeah, I mean that's an accomplishment. I'm like, why aren't more people talking about that? I have, I'd say, 3 movies plus 1 foreign language film that's being nominated for Best Picture in one of the categories that I still need to see. One of them is on Netflix. That's just a matter of me just sitting down and watching the dang thing. The problem is I'm just not interested in watching this movie at all. I'm just not interested. No rhyme or reason. I'm just not interested. And then 2 other ones are having showings in LA and New York this week and next week, and we have no information on a wide release. Don't show me previews in theaters when you can't tell me when I'll get to see it. That doesn't make any sense. But that's award season for you. You have a lot of these movies that are super competitive that may not resonate with the general public, but they push them out in front of voters, so to speak, before they even get to us. That just irritates me. But I digress. In spite of my confusion, I would say solid. I would watch this again. I mean, I need to watch it again, but I would watch this again just to experience Daniel Craig's performance. And the cinematography is just it's so sweet. And it's just, it felt good and warm. I liked it. Yes, this is set in Mexico, but something about the architecture and everything there really reminded me of New Orleans. New Orleans is like that, though, where there's just so many colors and everything's bright for no reason. Oh, I almost forgot to mention, there is nudity. I need to have a conversation with Mr. Luca, the director, because this is his 2nd film this year. I mean, he's had 2 this year, but both films I've seen Twinkies and Ho-Hos, and I need to understand the why. This movie, to me, it makes a little sense. I guess it kind of makes sense in Challengers. I don't know. I have to rewatch that one as well. But yes, there is nudity. That's art, I guess. I don't know.